Is it possible to be an amateur and still be a professional at the same time? Well, I'm here to tell you that it is. Despite the fact that a lot of times we actually put them, both expressions, on two different sides of a spectrum. You're either an amateur or a professional. You can't be both. I beg to differ, because in my career, I've been able to stay amateur in terms of technical knowledge and be professional in terms of my ability to deliver. I am not a videographer. I am not a cinematographer. I don't know how to use high-end DSLR cameras the way a lot of the people I work with can. So when people ask me, just because they see me make a movie, they see me make these videos that, for my church, for my employer, videos of myself as well. And then these things look cinematic. They look like they were made by a professional. Yes, they were made by a professional, but not a professional in a specific thing. So you don't have to be a professional videographer, meaning that that's all you do to be able to make great videos. If you are somebody who is in employment, maybe you're in a sales role position, or you work in a brand and communications department, and you want to elevate the quality of the content that you utilize either on social media or for stakeholder communication to enhance your presentations, to enhance your sales meetings, you don't have to be a professional videographer to be able to get better at making videos that you utilize as part of your sales enablement or your brand enhancement infrastructure. What you need to do is to build a capacity to deliver professionally without becoming professional in terms of the technical skills or being identified as a professional. So what I'm saying is this: I make great videos, but that's not all I do. And this brings me to something else. That old saying that I believe is absolutely wrong, because I am proof that it is, that jack of all trades and a master of none. First of all, that quote is actually incomplete the way it's been fed to us all our lives, but that's a story for another day. I have been a jack of one broad trade, which is brand marketing and communication. But within that space, I have been able to master so many different expressions within it. I've been able to master graphic design. That's where I started from. Been able to master 3D. I've been able to master sound design, believe it or not. I've been able to master videography. I've been able to master video editing. I've been able to master motion graphics. I've been able to master interaction design, web design, presentation design, and presentation delivery. I've been able to master even voiceover artistry. So does this mean that I am unable to refer to myself as a professional? Of course, I am professional in the way because I have delivered on these things. But the reason I have been able to be good at all of them was the way my career started. Way back in 1998, yes, believe it or not, I know it seems like I'm dating myself, but yes, 1998 is when I started. When I got into this business in 1998, I joined a company of people who the mainstay of the business was to deliver multimedia CD-ROM presentation applications for brands, for businesses. It was a sales enablement tool. And being able to put together note that it's called multimedia for a reason. Being able to put together a multimedia presentation meant that you had graphics elements, you had animation and motion graphics elements, you had interaction elements, you had video, you had audio, and all of that. You had voiceover, various things. So to be able to put that together, you had to be able to oversee the production, the creation of all these different elements, and you assemble them in a particular environment. Oftentimes, especially when we started, the skills weren't really available to do all those little bits. We developed the capacity to do them all. And if you had the ability to do all of those things, you had an advantage. Now, unlike people in other fields that utilize these expressions, like somebody who is in filmmaking, for example. Film is what you make. You don't need to understand interaction design. You don't need to know graphics design. You make film. So you need to dive so deep into film production, so deep into the equipment, so deep into the tools that so deep into that technical knowledge that you can't possibly have an understanding of everything else. It'll be a distraction because of how deep and how broad what you've dived into is. But the beauty of being a multimedia professional, an artist, is that you don't have to have that level of depth of knowledge that a filmmaker has about cameras and camera equipment and all that, because the nature of video that is required for a multimedia presentation doesn't necessarily have to go that deep. What is important is your ability to piece together a story that advances an idea. And that is what has been my focus. So when I make a video using my phone, I'm focusing on the story. When you focus on the story, you start to draw on that aspect of you that is a professional, because you are trying to deliver something. I want to emphasize something. What makes a person a professional isn't how skilled they are, or is it the fact that that's what they do all day, all week, all month. That's not what makes you a professional. What makes you a professional is your ability to structure your delivery in a manner that protects the process, protects the outcome, and expresses respect for both parties involved in that transaction. That is what being a professional is. And when you are delivering a video, you are delivering it with a goal. If we want to call it the way it is, the client or the end user or your principal or whoever you're doing this video for shouldn't care whether you use the DSLR camera, a cinema camera, or a phone to shoot that thing. What matters to them is how does the story get presented to me. If you're able to achieve, and in my case, the emphasis for me when I'm shooting with smaller tools like a phone or a pocket gimbal is camera movement, framing, and lighting. So when I get these things right and I know where and what to shoot, I know at what point to use them during the edit. Because I'm involved in the edit, I already have the story in my head when I am shooting. And this is what I try to teach people I work with, so that we can capture the right story elements, tell a fantastic story that moves people and moves the needle. That's what matters. So you can be an amateur and be professional while at it. It isn't your skill that makes you a professional. It is the principles with which you deliver. That's what makes you a professional.